Hello everybody and welcome to my video. Today I will be ranking all 46 Hamilton songs. I'm going to be using this tier list here, so hopefully y'all like this format of a video since it'll be really different than usual. I'm hoping this can kind of be more casual. It's much less scripted. Like I have all my rankings here, I'll show you all of them. Like I have them ready because it'll be kind of hard to rank all 46 songs just like off the top of my head. But other than that, it's kind of casual, but also please don't hate me if I have a song in a place that you disagree with. It's my opinion. That's just what I'm going to do here. But if you disagree with me, I'd be willing to debate you in the comments. Just please keep it civil. So for 46, I have my least favorite song. This is the only song I actually dislike in Hamilton, Farmer Refuted. It's just bad. And then number 45, I have Skylar Defeated. I don't hate this. It's not awful. It's just They tried a completely different music style here with Samuel Seabury, and it's okay. I just don't like it. It doesn't really connect with me. So those are the only two songs I actually actively dislike. And then I have A Winter's Ball, which is again a fair song. It's just kind of short. It's mediocre. It's just nothing extraordinary. Then I just Take a Break here, which is, again, it's a good song. A lot of the songs that I have here, they are good. They're just not my favorite. And this is, again, a good song. It's just not extraordinary. It's just not good compared to other songs. And also, I don't like Jen Phillip. I think he's kind of annoying. I think he's good later on, but right now, at this point, I think he's annoying when he's 8. And then I have the King George song, I Know Him. This is my least favorite King George song to do still. King George, I think he's a great character, but this is where I think he's the least good. I don't think he's just as good as he has been, or as he was in the other two songs. And now I have Cabinet Battle 2, which is, I enjoy it. It's just not as good as the first one, and right next to that I have the first one. That's a pretty good song. They're both pretty good, and I think it's kind of cool how they show that politics have always been politics. People have always argued about, taxes and stuff, and the government, and who knows, maybe this was exaggerated, I'm sure it was, but it just was kind of interesting, because you always think of the Founding Fathers, being very civil, and, being very, agreeing on everything, but no, they argued all the time. So I think that's good that these two songs, and I'm using them interchangeably, they are different, but they just seem kind of similar to me at least. But I think it's good that it showed them as, being painted in a different picture. And now I have a pretty sad song, Best of Wives and Best of Women, and it's pretty good. I think it's sad. It's short, but a lot is accomplished here. Hamilton says his final goodbye to Eliza, which is tragic, because Eliza doesn't know Hamilton's about to die in this duel. I mean, Hamilton doesn't know that either, but it's sad, especially if you're listening to Hamilton, multiple times. You can really see how this song foreshadowed this all, and it's sad. Now we have Blow Us All Away, and I think Phillip is much better here. I didn't like him before, in Take a Break, but now he's better. I think he's great here, actually. Blow Us All Away is just integral to a plot of a musical, and tragic at the end. Now, here's another song, you'll probably see a trend here. It's hard to see, hard to rank this song when it's short. Like the Adams Administration, I'm putting this here in 37th place, and it's not bad. It's just too short to really rank. It's only a minute long, and it's just because of that. And now here, it's a little weird. This tier list has Stay Alive here twice. I'm going to count the second Stay Alive as the Story of Tonight, but this first one actually means the Stay Alive reprise. And I have this just a little bit better than the Adams Administration in the C tier. It's a sad song, and the connection of Phillip and Alexander Hamilton both sharing the hubris that led to their demise is good. It makes this song even more meaningful, and I can appreciate that. It's a good song. but it's just not as good compared to the other ones. And that's something I'm going to say a lot in this video, and I've already said a lot, because there's so many good songs in Hamilton, but there are so many songs that are better than the good songs. So now I have Meet Me Inside. It's catchy. It's a catchy song. I like it. But it's not outstanding compared to the other songs, in my opinion. I like how it moves the story forward. It's just okay compared to the others, just like so many songs on this list. And now here we have the Story of Tonight reprise, which is not as good as the actual Story of Tonight, I don't think. It's still good, it connects back to really the start of a musical, but now Hamilton's married, his life has moved forward, and I think it ties kind of his change together. And just from a lyrical standpoint, it's good too, I like it, it's catchy. And now, My Shot, I have this just a little bit ahead of the Story of Tonight going into a B tier. So these songs, I'd say, they're close to a B tier. These ones, they're more there in the C tier, but this is what I'm finally bringing into the B tier. This song is just so upbeat, and I love it. It honestly just shows what Hamilton is like in one song, which is super impressive. It just shows his character and what he's like and how he will do nothing to not get his way, and how he's trying to just do everything and not throw away his shot. Now, The Election of 1800, I have a little bit ahead My Shot, and it's kind of weird because, I just said this song was so good, but at the end of the day, I think this song is catchier, The Election of 1800. It follows It's Quiet Uptown, which is a sad song, it's a slow, sad song, but this picks up steam pretty well and gets us right back into the heat of politics with Burr versus Jefferson. Now I have Washington on Your Side, which is a song that focuses on the quote-unquote bad guys of a musical in comparison to Hamilton, because there's not really, bad guys, maybe King George, but it's all in comparison to Hamilton, and they worked against him, and I like how this song focuses on them, and it's just kind of a fierce and fun song to listen to. It's hard not to root for Burr and Jefferson and Madison in this, because the song is so good. It's like, you root for them, you kind of see what they're going through, and it's hard not to, root for them, like I said. Now I have Helpless. This song might be controversial where I'm putting it, just a little bit ahead of Washington on Your Side, but I don't like it as much as Satisfied. Satisfied is a really good song that I really like. This song is important to a play and Eliza's perspective and marrying Hamilton, that's crucial, really. But I don't like it as much, just lyrically. I don't think it's as catchy, but it's still a good song, and like I've said so many times, I think, all of these songs, except maybe these two, Styler Defeated and Farmer Refuted, are good, but it's just, at the end of the day, I think there are so many songs that are better than that. And now I have What Comes Next, which is just a great King George song. He's just such an awesome character. I've listened to Hamilton before when it was just a performance, you can look up the songs on YouTube, and it wasn't the actual stage performance, but it was just cool to see in the actual musical on Disney Plus, how the audience reacted to him, and that just made King George such a better character to me, and that's why I have this song so high. Now I have Right Hand Man coming in what I believe is 28th, I think. And this is just the introduction to George Washington, and I think it's awesome. They really hype him up, and it's worth seeing him, because he's just such a historical hero. And they hype him up in the musical, in real life, he's looked up to by many people. And it has a nice payoff in Hamilton. And now, coming in at 27th place, I have Nonstop. It's a good song. I feel again, a lot of songs on this list, people would put it higher. But it's not my favorite. It's catchy, it's good, but I think so many songs are better. It does a great it does a great job showing the dynamic between Hamilton and Burr. They almost have, they're almost foils to each other. And you can see that in the song. And that's good. Now I have a Reynolds Pamphlet. This is good, I like it, and it's just cool seeing Hamilton's public downfall. And it's sad, but does a great job showing like his sudden decline, because it wasn't like this kind of slow fame that he just, faded into bad public opinion. No, it was just this one thing that came out, and I think there's a great job showing this, and I like that. And it just kind of has a dreadful feeling, like you feel the dread that Hamilton has, and that makes it a great song. Now I have Wait For It. This is a really good song, it's about a lot of Burr, and it's great. I like Burr. I think he's a great character. I kind of think he's better than Hamilton, actually. Please don't hate me for that. But I think this does a great job showing Burr as the great character he is. Now I have a 10 Dual Commandments, and I feel like as a standalone song, this isn't as good as it is when you look back at it at the end of a musical, and just it has that callback at the very end pretty much, and it's just so sad because, you were introduced to Dual Commandments, and then of course, when Hamilton and Burr duel, this comes back, and it's cool. I like that. And now that would be enough. This is a song, a lot of people don't like the kind of slower songs in Hamilton, but I do. I think it makes it emotional, and that's something that you need in a musical. When there's just a bunch of rap music and stuff, it can be kind of hard to, feel connected to, but because normally rap I don't think of as emotional, but a slow song with slower lyrics, that kind of brings out more emotion, at least in me. And I feel like those songs really benefit Hamilton as a musical. And now here's my favorite King George song, You'll Be Back. He's just so funny and charismatic here. I love this one so much. Now here's a much sadder song. It's Burn. That's what I have now in 21st place. And it's good because it focuses on Eliza, and this musical is so centered around Hamilton. I mean, sure, it's supposed to, since that's what the musical's name is, but, Eliza is important to this, and this song really shows, what she's feeling, and kind of Hamilton's flaw, because a lot of people are like, oh, he's perfect, but no, he has so many flaws that really hurt Eliza, and I'm glad this song focuses on that. Now, speaking of Hamilton's flaws, we have Say No to This in 20th place. It's a catchy song. I like this one a lot. It shows Hamilton's predicament, and it shows it really well, in my opinion. It shows the conflict that's going on in his head as he makes the biggest mistake of his life, at least what I think is the biggest mistake of his life, because he knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows it will hurt Eliza and his whole family and his reputation, but, he can't say no, and this song just does a great job showing that. Now, I have a Story of Tonight, and like I said earlier, it's weird because there's 2 Stay Alive reprises. I didn't make the tier list, that's just how it came, but just pretend this is the Story of Tonight. So, I like this because it's one of the first songs in the musical, and it's only like a minute or 2 long, but it shows what the characters are like, and it introduces so many characters and what they want to do with a revolution, and how they will stop at nothing to get their freedom, and it's incredible that it can be done in just one song. Now, speaking of Stay Alive reprise, I have the actual Stay Alive, which I think is just such a great song. It has such a cool feeling to it. And it's a great hype for revolution, just really. And I used to think Charles Lee was a bad character. Like, before I thought he was kind of pointless, but now I've warmed up to him, and I like his plotline a lot more now, that happens in this song. Okay, so I just switched the tier list, and I added more to A because I wasn't doing A, but yeah, so the 10 Dual Commandments, they're starting off with A, so, these are everything in the B tier, this is everything in the C tier, and then the 2 songs in the F tier. And this is for the A tier really so far, and Aaron Burr Sir is just such a good song. The lyrics are so clever, and it says, are you Aaron Burr Sir? Did you punch a bursar? Like, that's so good. It's clever. This is a funny song, kind of, at least in some parts, and it really shows how Hamilton and Burr are friends at the start, and, sadly they didn't, they became enemies at the end. And also, I'd say the Schuyler Sisters are a really good song, although I wouldn't put it as high as Aaron Burr Sir. Because the Styler Sisters, you know, they're iconic, they're really funny, and the song is just so catchy. What's not to love about it? But I think Aaron Burr is just a little bit better. So now coming in 15th place, what I think is 15th place, I have History Has Its Eyes on You, which is just a beautiful song, really, from Washington, because his voice is so good here. I just love it. I love so many songs in Hamilton, but this one really, it's a little special to me. I like it. So now coming in 14th place, I have Your Obedient Servant, which is just such a good song, because when you're just listening to it, it's like, you know, as the audio, you can tell that the anger in Burr's voice. You can tell how mad he is about losing this election and because of Hamilton. You don't even have to see the stage acting. I think this song is just something terrible you can't keep your eyes off of. What's about to happen is awful, but there's nothing you can do as Burr and Hamilton's arguments devolve into anger and a duel and eventually death. So in 13th place, I have One Last Time, which is another George Washington song. I like a lot of his songs. And this one also holds a special place to me because I listened to this a lot during my graduation. So it was it helped me get through it because this is a song, I think, about moving on and, you know, George Washington retiring. And it's a little bit similar to graduation, at least I think it is. So now, I think a lot of people would put this higher. I have Alexander Hamilton in 12th place. It's the introduction to a musical. I think it's a great introduction. It's what you can ask for. It's all you can ask for. And it's really good. It's probably the best opening to a musical ever, at least in my opinion. So in 11th place, I have What Did I Miss from Jefferson. So this is, you know, the introduction to his character. It's just so good. Because it's like jazz, you know? I feel like Jefferson's something new. Jazz is something a little bit new to a musical, and they don't really explore it later, but it's just something different that Jefferson does, and it's just a great introduction. I love it so much. And now, for number 10, starting off my top 10, I have Yorktown. So this is starting off the S tier. And Yorktown is just such a good song because there's so many callbacks to what's been in the musical so far, and it's kind of rewarding, really, if you watch a full musical. If you just listen to like one song and not a full musical, it doesn't have the same kind of goodness. But the fast lyrics, the singing, all just add together to make this song fantastic. Now, this is a song that not many people put this high, but I have We Know in 9th place. It's just always stuck in my head. Jefferson is so good in it, and it's just like, I like it. It benefits the plot. It's sad for Hamilton, but it's just a really good moment for the bad guys, and like I said before, it's hard not to root for them sometimes. Now I have Dear Theodosia, which is a song I just really enjoy. It's just so sweet, and it's such a somber song. I imagine a lot of new parents listening to a song can relate to it. This goes to show how good a musical can be, if it can just strike these emotional chords, and Dear Theodosia is one of my favorite songs for that very reason. Another song that I think is really emotional is Hurricane. It's a faster song. Like I said before about emotional songs, sometimes they have to be slower, but Hurricane isn't really. It's a fast song, and I think it's really underrated. It shows the struggle Hamilton goes through, and all the mistakes he made, and what he does to try to fix them, or at least make up for them. Coming in at 6th place, we have Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story. I love seeing pretty much all of the characters there at the very end, and if this isn't a perfect ending, I don't know what is. Now in 5th place, I have probably the catchiest song, like, ever in Hamilton. Maybe. Is Guns and Ships. This comes right after That Would Be Enough, which is kind of an emotional and slow song, which makes this such a shock when they start, like, when Lafayette starts rapping and stuff. It makes this so good. I love this song so much. Who doesn't love Lafayette, though? He's the best. Now in 4th place, I have A World Was Wide Enough. This song is probably my favorite plot-wise. It's an incredible culmination to a story, and it's just as devastating as it should be. It is sad, but it really makes you think. They say a good work of art makes you think, and this song really made me think. I really appreciate this song, and it's not my favorite lyric-wise. I don't think it's as catchy as many other songs, but just for a plot, it's the best culmination I think it could have been, and I love it for that reason. Now in 3rd place, I have a very catchy song, A Room Where It Happens. I like this song so much. Burr is just incredible in it. It's just so good. It shows a rivalry between Burr and Hamilton like we didn't see it before up to this point in the musical. And it's just so good. I love it. And now here's a song that's kind of pretty good. I'm gonna put it in B. It's Tomorrow There'll Be More of Us. It's also known as the Lawrence Interlude. And I'll put that, I'd say, in between Right Hand Man and What Comes Next. It's a good song. It's a short one. But it's sad because, Lawrence, he's dead. And I think it is really sad. Also, that one doesn't really count as a song as much as the other ones. It's more like an interlude. But I'll still count it. And now in 2nd place, I have It's Quiet Uptown. This song gives me the chills. It's just devastating. If you're invested in a musical, It's Quiet Uptown is so emotional, and it perfectly captures the sadness of the ending. The lyrics are slower than usual, but it's worth it, because it adds to the emotion. And not the ending like, Hamilton dying, but his son dying, and that's just such a tragic thing that shouldn't happen to anyone. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And it's just sad, and it shows the struggle that Hamilton and Eliza go through. So now in 1st place, after counting down all of these, I have Satisfied. You probably could have guessed it if you know me. I love this song so much because it just has a really good introduction to Angelica, because she was in the Schuyler Sisters, but it really develops her as a character, and it's just the best, really. I also have a little bit of a personal bias for a song because it's all I listen to for like 3 weeks, but I like it so much. It's really catchy, it goes fast, I like that, that's probably my favorite thing about Hamilton, and this song is everything you look for in this musical. It's great lyrics, it establishes Angelica as an incredible character, and it's incredibly catchy. That's the thing about this song, it's incredible. That's why it's my favorite. Anyway, I appreciate you sticking around to watch this video. I have a feeling it's much longer than usual. I'm just finishing recording now, but it's gonna be long. So it was much more casual than usual. Hopefully it was good. Next video, I'll go back to normal. But if you like this, maybe I'll do something like this again. So make sure to tell me if there are any movies or shows you'd like to see me review next, and I will see you in the next video.